Yes, sir. Shout out my boy D boy, grinding nothing.
D-boy in the building.
Yes, sir. TOOT. I want to feel the love.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this a hot record, bro. This a hot record.
Appreciate it. Shout out Queso, for keeping me busy, man.
Yes, sir. Shout out Queso, my boy. What up, bro? We
Yeah.
got Toot in the building, y'all. I had to bring him out right. He said, "Yeah, I feel a little, I feel a little empty." This is my part right here, bro. You break. I love that tempo, that melody. Say, "Hey, I don't undercut nobody. I show love to everybody. Ain't no elevators out to take the stand."
Hey.
Hey, hey.
But
He
the
said, "I've
game is
been
the
putting
game.
on. Ain't too
It's
many
a
did
minute,
it. They
minute.
quit before they finish.
Hey.
All alone."
Yeah. My God.
He say, "What's going on? I want
I
to
want to
feel the
feel the love.
love." Hey man, I had to play that, man. One of my breakers, man. Respectfully, the podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I got my boy T Double. Hey man, this is an Omaha legend. He been bringing talent for years since the '90s, man. Y'all know him. He got something to say. He's the topic. He's a musician, most consistent in our generation. He's an entrepreneur. Recently released his album on digital platforms, Like I Never Left. Ladies and gentlemen, TOOT, your boy too. What's good, Brody?
What's up, y'all? What's going on? What's up with you, Red, man? How you doing, baby?
Man, all is well, man. Grinding, putting on for the city just
Yes,
like you,
sir.
fam.
Yes, sir.
You
Like
know
you
how we
always
do.
been.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Man, you been real busy, consistent, man. I watch from afar. I love the city. Shout out to Omaha. I'm always watching, staying tapped in. A lot of people come on and they give me they give me credit for still plugged in with the city.
Man.
And I just thank God that I got those relationships and I stay, connected to the streets and the culture.
Yes, sir. Because you from the roots, baby. You from
You
the roots,
already
baby.
know.
You know what I
You
mean?
know it.
You from the
Man,
roots.
you been grinding, man. You been grinding. I've been watching. You been consistent. I love it, man, because I was sitting there thinking, like, who else in our generation? This a couple. Shout out my boy AK. He
Yeah.
started late, but he doing his thing.
Yeah.
And it's a couple others out there. I know T Royal was, but now he got the Born Royalty.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the rappers, our generation and younger. But this is all about TOO today. TOOT. Man, how was it growing up in Omaha for you, man? And how did you earn your name too?
Man, Toot was that name was given to me since a tyke, man. That's a mom and dad nickname, and it just stuck. A neighborhood
Oh, okay.
nickname. So that goes back since a tyke. I mean, I'm talking about a little tyke running around with Pampers on.
Wow.
You dig? So
Okay, okay.
I used to make up stories for the name, but I never knew how it came. They just started
For
calling me
real?
Toot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how
It
was
just
it growing up for Omaha? You, for those who don't know, share with the people, to the viewers.
Well, I'm a 24th Street kid, dog. I'm a 24th Street kid. I'm a bottom baby. I'm from Coons Park area, Vietnam area. The whole from 24th and Paul all the way to Bickles. You dig what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then I'm just a 24th Street kid. Grandma lived on
yeah.
25th in Kansas. You know what I'm saying? Miller Park. Shout out to the whole but I'm just one
Yes,
of those
sir.
kids. So I was a snot nose running around, down the deuce, up and down the deuce, from playing basketball at Coons Park, Sacred Heart, all the way to the Bryant Center and the ball field in Vietnam to on the side of Logiers. You know what I'm talking about? You know,
Right,
I,
right. Wow, back in the day.
yeah, the Rocket Park. I'm that
Yeah,
kid. I was up and down the deuce, so
yeah,
that's my roots. And it was a shoot, I come from the era of pimps, you know what I'm saying, where the pimps ran the dudes, you know what I'm saying? The bookie joints ran the
yeah.
dudes. Jitney stands was the job, you go to, you know what I'm saying? I'm from that era, you dig what I'm talking about? So
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir. Okay. That's where the
Watching,
lingo come from. That's where the
yeah.
sort where the roots come from,
That's
huh?
where the roots come from. That's where the game came from, and you elevated
Yeah.
from there. I'm out Salvation Army eating the lunch,
Yes, sir.
Salvation Army lunch kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
a foster kid too here and there, at one
Mm.
point in time, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, that influenced a lot of stuff. I learned a lot. That's the reason why I can go around the city, because
Right.
when I was in living that side of life, we lived in 40th Ave. We lived in Pleasant View. So, I have foster
Mm.
parents on 40th Street. I have foster parents on 45 on James. I have foster parents
Yeah.
on 40th in Miami. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about,
Wow. I
yeah.
didn't know
So,
you was a foster kid, fam. I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah. I was a foster kid in elementary school, man, all the way to late elementary. Went back home about fifth, sixth grade. So, and then
Yeah.
we never got taken again. That's when they started, the system really kicked in. So, you know,
Right. Right.
yeah. No,
That's
no.
yeah, man.
I try not to tell that too much. I explain it to my young ones that I deal with though on that side of the fence. But you know,
Yeah.
that is part of my life. That's what helped shape me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep. And
why I can go everywhere. And that's what
right.
people don't know. That's why I can kind of go everywhere in the city, being from where I
Mm-hmm.
grew up at. You know what I mean? Because I also lived in these places, what I'm saying,
Yes,
and
sir.
made friends and really played outside. You know what I mean? I was off the porch
Right.
everywhere I went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm talking about in the
Yeah.
middle of the park at Pleasant View. I go out there and
Mm.
hoop with them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's that. You know what I mean? As far as those from the soil, they know.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
That explains, man. That explains, like you say, the relationships you got and why you can move how you move. That's what's up, man. And I admire it. I want to give you your flowers publicly, man, before we get too deep in, man. Like you've been going hard since the '90s. When I was younger, and I feel like I owe you an apology just because when we was younger, I didn't know, and me and the homies and all that, our mentality in Omaha didn't know how to support. We come from that where we come from. Everybody's competing and not
yeah,
supporting and not pushing. And you started early, man. You started in the '90s, with the no limit situation. I want
yeah,
you to talk about that. But you
yeah,
started then, and you've been putting on, like you say, you've been putting on. So if a cat is not giving you praise and homage, unfortunately they a hater. I hate to say it. Shout out to
yeah,
everybody, but
yeah,
Toot
yeah,
been going hard too long to not get this man his flowers. So I give you your flowers, bro. Salute to you. You
man.
you continue to evolve and come up with sounds and develop, and that's big for our generation, especially because a lot of us be stuck.
Yeah,
We in our 40s. A lot of our generation is stuck. A lot of people feel like life is over and they not
yeah,
moving. They don't got motion. And the
yeah.
guys like you empower, encourage, and it comes with jealousy, as we know, because it just is what it is. When you winning and
Right.
you on this side, that's what come with the territory. But I give you your flowers, bro. Salute to you, fam. You've been doing your thing, and I love it, bro. I love it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I wasn't a fan always, but I'm a fan now. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I
Straight up, I'm
appreciate it.
not.
Why I appreciate it, man, because like I said, and I understand that, and I appreciate that apology, man. But you know what? Y- I, this ain't it ain't just like you said. We in our 40s. A lot of
Yeah,
people stuck, but I want to show them this ain't over. See, because we the only group of people that put a time limit on your gift, that put a time limit
right.
on something that we created. Like there's a time
Yeah,
limit. No, there ain't no time limit because the rapping started in the 80s. It started when I'm an 80s baby, so it
yeah,
started with us. So why are we supposed to be? Yeah, I could pass the torch to a young fella, but why do I gotta stop? You know what I'm saying?
right,
Oh, he
right.
supposed to be done stop music. He supposed to been done made it. Well, I am made it. I did make it. I'm living my dream. You know what I'm saying?
Hundred
It's just not
percent. I
what you
love it.
think it
Yeah,
is. You know what I'm saying? I'm living my
yeah,
dream. So I'm not going to stop this. And
yeah,
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 I wish the city could grab, because I know I know who I am. I wish they can
yeah.
grab, that grasp the concept of, because we all from the turf. We all grew up fighting. We all
Mm-hmm.
grew up, hard times, food stamp, WIC, and what I'm saying, making it, struggling, hustling
Yeah,
and bubbling and or whatever,
yeah.
going in and out the system, in and out of jail,
Mm-hmm.
that system. So, it's like I don't live by the stigma, Isaac. So,
Right. You don't.
I'm never going to live by the stigma. I've never let the hood hold me. Even though I'm from the
Mm.
hood, you can't take it from me. I'm from the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
And that
lived
that that
in my
leads
hood,
me that leads
born in
me
it.
that leads me to I want to segue into that because right, a lot of people you kind of already answered my question, but that
Yeah,
was something I wanted to ask you. A lot of people our age, our generation, they would say, "Oh, he too old." Not you, just in general, right?
yeah,
He
yeah.
too old to be rapping. This is things that I even dealt with, right? Just as an artist, like, okay,
Right.
when do you stop? When I was younger, I mean, when I was in my 30s, approaching 40s, I'd be like, man, I ain't gonna keep being on stages and doing these open mics and things down here, and not getting paid for it. But to
Yeah,
your point, right now where I'm at as a man and I'm successful and I'm okay, it's like that's not rap isn't my primary. It's something I love to do and I
yep,
can produce and put it out and I ain't hurting. I'm not hurting. So now
right.
it feels different as a grown adult who's
Yes, sir.
financially okay and I'm my own machine to say I could drop when I want to because
Yep.
I love to create. And so what do you say to those people that is thinking like, we too old to be rapping, yada, those that stigma and those conversations that are bubbling.
I tell them if they thinking that they too old, then you might be. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think
Yeah.
you too old, then you might be because
Yeah.
I don't
You
think like
might.
that. I still,
Right,
like I
right.
said, I still play basketball. I still
Yeah,
crack jokes.
yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
still run around. I deal with the youth. We're
Yeah.
never when you put them words, see, words got power, and that's one
Yes,
thing I
sir.
understood when I was younger. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I never really tried to appeal too hard to the hood because them words got power. You know, and I
Mm.
understood that. My mama taught me that because the first, it's in my whole family. My whole family, aunties, uncles, they all writers, singers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Okay.
Players. They played. They the Phelps family. I come from the Phelps family, and then Nat King Cole. That's a descendant of my mama and my grandpa and grandma and them.
Wow.
My
Okay.
grandma. So that she's a Cole, and my grandpa he come from the South. So when you break it down of why I do music, it's just in me. At the first choir I touched, and the first person that taught me how to sing was my mama. I was in her
Mhm.
choir. You know what I'm saying? She was a minister of music at church. So,
Right,
and,
right.
and we all went to church. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We all went to church and we had family that sang or played and my whole family, that's what they did. So we was, I couldn't escape that. Some of my
Yeah,
other
yeah.
siblings, they didn't grab it's in them, but they didn't grab it like I did. That was something I seen
Right.
myself doing until it was over. I watched my grandpa walk down the aisle singing a song, get the church moving. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
And so
yeah, yeah.
that did something to me. And you see my mom, grab the mic and she sounded better than Whitney and Aretha and them to me back in that
Right.
time. So, that did something to me. I'm like, oh, we gonna make it. I'm gonna make, that was my mentality. Mama,
No
come
doubt.
sing on this song. She's on several of my projects. She's on a Rock Won't Cry. I just put out a single called "A Rock Won't Cry" out
Okay.
for me. You know,
Okay. Shout
uh,
out to moms, man.
yeah,
She on the
mom,
front. She
yeah,
still working, still
yeah.
getting busy.
She still get behind the mic when I ask her to,
That's
and
what's up.
get
That's
loose.
what's up.
Uh, but no, if you think you're too old, I'm not gonna say then you probably are. I really would say, hey man, don't put a time limit on you because them words got
Yeah,
power. So
that's
when the
good.
thoughts come by I get thoughts too, but I would not speak them on me because I don't see too old. I think we're supposed to do what we love, and it's a release for whatever is in you or that you may be
Right.
harboring. Because a lot of people deal with a lot of things, and they don't do what they love anymore, and so they become old because you're not
Yes,
doing
sir.
what you love.
They stop moving too. They
Yeah,
stop
you stop
moving. They ain't
moving.
having
Right,
motion, man. You gotta
right.
stay. You can't get stagnant, man.
Yeah, you
Y'all
can't.
get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about that. When you reach a certain age, or is it a certain age when you should stop doing what you love to do? Let me know. We want to hear from y'all in the comments. Hey man, guys like yourself, bro, I would say, you wear a lot of hats, man, and I'm looking at you and I see you moving. I know what you do behind the scenes
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
yeah.
When is it too much? When are you spreading yourself too thin? Do you have those reflections? Is somebody pulling you to the side like, hey, bro, you doing a lot? I know my wife be telling me that, and some of the homies I hear it
Yeah.
too. But it's like, I don't feel like I'm doing a lot. In the beginning of creating something, I will say it can be overwhelming when you launching something, you first getting it up and running. But once it
Yeah.
gets to running, it's a pilot mode. You can let that go, and then you jump over here and do this. What's your process like? When is two spreading themselves too thin and got to bring it back in?
Um, and doing what I do behind the scenes with the young men that was displaced like myself at one time. you take on a lot. You know, you take on a lot mentally, physically, and spiritually if you're doing it correctly. But uh, you know, when it's too much, and then this is where I'm gonna give a shout out again to Queso. He's giving me that outlet. Hey, no, we talking about that in the song. And you know, you might
Mm.
not ever hear that song, but that was the therapy. That was the, you know what I'm saying? That was
I
the
love it.
relief. And he often as a real friend, we become real friends
Yeah,
over
that's
the
my bro
last
right there.
yeah, he was little bro, you know, because you know,
Yep.
like I said, he was little bro back in the day, you know, I seen the fire in him when he was 14, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
he's became that real friend, and he has a different level of wisdom that he
he
also,
do.
when it comes to doing what we love to do. And he
Mm-hmm.
we like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, this is a song. We letting that out, you know. So, you know, shout out to Queso for letting me get my,
Hey, so shout
you
out to
know,
bro.
you know, have my moments in that therapy sessions behind the mic. And but
Yeah.
no, what I was gonna say, add to
But do you
that.
feel like you spreading yourself too thin
Yeah,
sometimes?
sometimes I do because and it's just being transparent.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do because you take on a lot, you know, when you're dealing with lives, you know, and
Yeah.
I deal
Yeah.
with a lot of young lives. So, and sometimes I'm not a quitter, you
No
know, so
question. Yeah.
I don't like pulling back. And if I say I can't do this one, I feel like I quit. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
when now I'm learning now to say, okay, it's not me for this kid. You get what I'm saying? And it's okay. Cause
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
once he come into my clutches, it's like, okay, this is the last stop. We gonna get it right. You know, we gonna,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm gonna be that light bearer for you to take you through this jungle. But uh there's just some that ain't gonna follow you. And there's some that is
Yeah.
just not for you. So I've been learning to let go so that way I can keep, you know, that overwhelmness. And then, you know, I got other projects and businesses, and I just learned to take everything step by
Right.
step. I'm that turtle. You know, I'm the turtle in the
Yeah.
rabbit race, you know. So, you know, against the rabbit, I'm the tortoise in the hare. I'm the tortoise. I'm gonna take my
Right.
time
Right.
step by step, and I'm gonna get there. You might beat
I
me,
want.
but
Yeah.
I'm gonna get
I
there.
want
You
to
know what I
learn
mean?
more about that too, man. Is it okay if you kind of expound on that? Give me a general, give the people a general idea of what it is you do, as far as with the youth.
I deal with behavioral health ultimately, behavioral health and developmental disabilities, mostly behavioral health because I like to deal with probation. You know, I like to get
Mm-hmm.
because you know I worked in the juvenile detention
Okay.
for over a decade, you know what I mean? And
I know Tylon just told me he do that too. Shout out to
yep,
Tylon. You know,
Thailand. And we just got done playing a game together. We on the same team on
yeah, that's
Thursday
my
night.
dog too. Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to
We won
Tylon, man.
tonight
Date
too. My
Tylon, he's
God.
still cold. He's still cold.
I mean, he's still cold. Still dropping dimes, having fun out there, you know. It's
That
that
dude was crazy on the court when we was kids,
yeah.
man. He was bananas.
He still got it. That's
That's
one thing
what's
I can
up.
say. He still got it. He might not be dunking like he was then, but he still a pop you, he'll
Yeah,
drop you. Matter of fact, made
yeah.
somebody fall tonight. Crazy. But no.
That's
Uh what we do with the
what's up.
boys, man. Really I like dealing with them probation kids because majority of them just have they just made a couple choices, man, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like to
yeah,
help them see that, you know, and stand on business when it comes to being accountable. And
yeah.
that's the first step is when you be accountable to what it is you're doing against the rules and the laws out here. Now, it doesn't
Hmm.
mean they're a bad person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I always treat everyone the same. Sometimes I don't even read the rap sheet. I got certified in several things. You have to have certifications in several things, and some you can go to a higher level and have other certifications. But I like the level I'm at, you know, because
Yeah,
the level I'm at, you're comfortable to move around, and you don't have to deal with a lot of red tape. So I let an agency back me up because I can be
mm,
independent, and I am an independent. But I always I use one agency,
right,
and
right.
they'll do all the red tape and figuring everything out for you, and you just deal with that way I could just focus on, you know, the plan of the kid and see what it
Yeah.
is that they need to do for themselves.
What fuels you, man, and keeps you going, as far as artistically?
Um, man, you know, like I said, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm just gonna tell this story because I went to Queso and he told me, he said, man, I went when he came back and started the studio. I'm like, bet. Because I used to always send him my stuff in Atlanta to mix and master and all this.
Yeah.
He said, Toot, when I first sat down in there, he said, Toot, this ain't a studio. I was like, huh? He let me record my songs and, he put his touches on them. He's like, he said, I want to get you a hit. He's like, I always thought, what did Toot need? You need a hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, because at first I'm uncomfortable now. So he's like, let's do the song. He had to walk me through. We did the song. He changed up stuff. Now say this line. Take
Yeah.
this line
Yeah.
out. Say this. That sound old. This sound dated. Say
Yeah.
this. Say it like this. So I had to go back
Producer.
to school with him. Like he
Mm-hmm.
literally took me through school. So I was very uncomfortable the first day I went. I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm just gonna go record the songs and he put the butter on there and
Right.
I'm out of there, you know what I'm saying? I'm out of there, come back and do, because I booked a lot of time, because I'm ready to work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that first day, and then I went and listened to the 2 joints we did that I had put together, and he had me change things around. He like basically was telling me my baby wasn't ready to come out the incubator. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
ready to take my baby home. And he like, no, it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
but I went home and I listened. And then all the words he said to me, this isn't a studio. This is we producing. He showed me the difference because back in the day, we would produce ourselves, He
Right.
showed me the
Right.
difference with working with a producer, a writer, and
Yes.
somebody that's going to make the song. And I was like,
Mm.
hey. And so I called
Yeah.
him that night he'll tell you about 3:30 in the morning. It was about 3:30 in the morning. I was up and I said, I get it. I'm ready. Let's
Yeah.
go. Because you
Yeah.
can't teach all old dogs new tricks because
No
everybody like,
question.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. That
And
pride, ego. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I let it go because like I said, I was uncomfortable. Like, no, man, changing my stuff up, man. I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? That's for them. And this is in my head. I'm like, that's for them niggas. I mean, excuse my language, but that's for them. And, that's for what they do. And I'm like, then when I got home and I listened and I heard the clarity, I heard the whole, everything that I wanted to say got out of me.
Yeah. Using the
Like he
pocket.
brought it
Yeah.
out. And then
Yeah.
he told me, yeah,
So.
this, he produced me. He
Yeah.
wrote
He's a
and
producer.
produced.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
said, I get it. I'm ready. Let's go. And from there, I didn't stop. I didn't care. If he was booked up, I'll make sure. Look, you about to produce me all the way through. You know what I'm
For
saying?
real. Yeah. I can't
Look,
work with nobody else.
and I'm
I
not, and I
already know.
haven't since then. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because
I hear it. I
now
hear it.
I don't even pick up the pen. I'm getting behind the mic and
Mm.
I'm capturing the moment. He taught me how to
Right.
capture the moment. Like I always used to be able to freestyle, but now this is making a hit in the moment. So all my
Right.
songs are
Right.
moment songs. These wasn't
Mm.
sat down and written. Now we might come up with the idea before and I'll put some ideas down and go off of that right behind the mic though. And we get songs done. I'm done with 3 songs now, depending on the pocket I choose to sit in, and I'm done with 3 songs behind the mic within
Yeah.
3.5, 4 hours. And I'm talking about
Right.
done
Right.
though. We're done. We don't have to go back and do nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Because
saying? That
he mixing as you
mixing
going.
as you go.
Mm.
This was different. This is what I
Yeah.
wanted. This is how I wanted to work because I only worked with one other producer because I mistake him for an engineer. I only worked with one other producer like that, and he was in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Uh, and I only worked with him like 1 or 2 times because he was expensive at the time.
Right.
So
Right.
you know what I mean. So I got that here. I didn't move again. I didn't budge. You
Yeah.
know
That's what's up.
I didn't go
I
nowhere else.
love it.
It didn't feel good. You know what I
No,
mean?
after Queso, you can't, man. After
Yeah.
him going somewhere else, it was hard when bro was down here. I stopped rapping for a minute because I couldn't get a hold of him. He was so busy, and I was just like, man, I can't go nowhere else because my sound ain't gonna be the same.
Right.
Eventually, I found another producer, and it's very important to the artist. It's real important that you do get with a producer
Yes,
because
it is.
I tell people, I share that all the time, even with my wife. Like, I know I can write, and I be saying it right to myself when I'm writing, but you get behind that mic and trying to spit it and bring it out, it ain't the same.
They ain't
So
the
that
same.
producer, that other set of ears and that guide to help you, hey, say it like this. And bro got that mastered. That's his thing. So
Man,
shout out to my boy Queso. What up, bro?
yeah,
So too,
I gotta give him his flowers. He's
yeah,
you know, he's
a
quietly,
genius.
he quietly is the every big movement since, our era, because I come from the full clip era, and
Hmm.
the two from the drama life era, our era
Right.
is right after full clip and Pocket Pete and Freddie dead, and so when L Mac, and which is still working,
Yeah.
um he had some big movements. He like moved the city, and people not even knowing it was him moving the city. The Nike movement,
Yeah.
the Jada,
Yeah.
even
Lou.
shout out to everybody I just said, and even Shannon Marie. And I'm not saying he did
Queso was working
everything.
with her.
Yeah, Queso worked with
Okay.
those that's hot in this
Yeah,
city.
yeah, yeah. Right, right.
Everybody that's hot, he's been behind and, and
That's
and
what's
and
up.
pushed and moved it. You know what I'm saying? In some shape, form, fashion. If not, was the
Yeah.
man with the hat on behind it. So that's why I don't mind
Yeah.
him being behind and pushing me to be greater, because that's his, and
That's
his
his
own.
layer.
Yeah, that's his lane, and then his own stuff is that way, and nobody appreciate the
Right.
artistry. Because we come
Right.
from this, like you said, we come from the place of everybody wanting to, you know, everybody
Compete.
wanting to compete, and I'm better than this, and I'm this, like, no, it ain't. This ain't that. If we will
Right.
all come together in a forum and do some stuff, the city will move, because we got a lot of talent here.
Man. I was
Everybody that
listening to I was listening to that Big Meech interview today with Ice Ware Vezo and them, and talking about the Detroit rappers and how they moving together. And I'm just like, dang, what is it gonna take to get Omaha like that? When I come home and I see all the, and even for watching from afar, I know we know who's the who's and who's the
right, right,
shakers, who
right,
making moves. And I'm like,
right.
I don't see everybody together. So this is just me saying, man, I encourage y'all the way, I constantly try to share and get a blueprint from seeing what I see in the ATL. We got to stick together, man.
Yeah,
We should be behind two. We should be behind T Roy. We should be
T-Roy, yeah,
behind AK. We should be even, and I don't know a lot of the younger artists. Shout out to them, Lil Lane Wells and
Lane well,
everybody
yeah,
else. But we should be behind each other. El Stupo, everybody that has some motion. Don't wait till people get on. Ride
yep.
with them, push them, support them, and that's how we gonna eat. That's how we
That's how
live.
we gonna eat. Yeah, because that's how
That's
we
how
get
we
on,
gonna
is
eat.
through the hometown. Because if no other
Yeah,
town support us, then the
yeah,
hometown supposed to. So that I've gotten that down from the Chitlin circuit, because I was on the Chitlin circuit, and I created my own. And shout out to Bacon, because he created a Chitlin
yeah.
circuit for him. Small town, and them, they was he had created the Chitlin circuit for him too. Around here. See, and DJ Mecca was the first DJ that took me on tour around this
Mm.
Chitlin circuit around here. We have a Chitlin
Okay.
circuit. It just don't look like us, but they
Right.
all
Right.
come out in packs
Okay.
on that Chitlin circuit. So Bacon found out, that's why he was always, the small town movement
So
was
where's
was
the
moving.
chilling circle? What you mean? I'm not familiar with it.
So the Chitlin circuit is the circuit of, we're like down, like I came out of Louisiana. Their Chitlin circuit around there, is the black colleges, the
Oh,
city,
okay.
the like Lafayette, and you go
Monroe, all those small
Monroe,
cities.
yeah,
Okay.
where all the
Yeah.
colleges are, even up to Jackson State, and some places over in Mississippi and then Texas. There's a Chitlin circuit that you gonna get known through that circuit.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know,
Okay.
you're gonna get known by traveling. And I traveled that Chitlin circuit with them guys down there at Houma, Thibodeau, Raceland,
Yeah.
Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
Lafayette, Shreveport. There's a Chitlin
Yeah.
circuit all in them small towns, is a
Yeah.
lot of us down there. So their
Yeah.
Chitlin circuit is moving. And up here, well, our Chitlin circuit, where you got Kansas City, you got Topeka, you got Wichita, you got,
Wichita,
yep. Then
Sioux
you get
City.
Sioux City, yep. But that's where I was about to say. Now our Chitlin circuit around this circle: Sioux City, Carroll, Denison, these Iowa towns that's close. Even Lincoln, um, Ashland, Nebraska,
Des Moines.
yeah, Des Moines, like you said, Sioux City, Sioux Falls,
Mm.
all these little areas over here, Waterloo, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that place in Iowa? Was it Grand Rapids? Yeah,
Waterloo, Grand Rapids.
yeah.
It's a
The
lot of
Quad
little cities
Cities,
around Ames.
Ames, Iowa, yeah. So them, that's our chitlin circuit. We just gotta exploit it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a lot of people that want to be entertained and want to listen to good music
Right.
or go see a good show and
Right.
do something for an artist that's serious. So I target market and then I'll hit the streets with it, and go out there and make headway. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Right.
know they might see your stuff and then keep going, right? But they seen it. Then you
Yeah.
show up, they like, oh, that I seen that. I seen, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you about to, each person you run into, hey, we got a show. We got, boom, come out tonight. And you got to start small when you're doing it
Yeah.
yourself.
You
But to
got
get a
some.
promoter, you got to, that's how I would catch their attention is I create my own motion. Then a
Yeah.
promoter will
Yeah.
jump onto you, or you can lock in with a promoter in that area and,
Yeah.
y'all do business together, and
Right.
and
Right.
they might have like, oh, I like this young artist. Okay, pay me this, and you can get on this show
Hmm.
already, and you can do your thing. You can do it that way
Also,
too.
like you were saying, you can pay for the club that night and create the experience, and then you
Yes,
get in
sir.
the door and you promoting, yourself
Indeed.
as an artist. But to a person that's working a 9 to 5 and that's passionate about being an artist, I would say get your money up. Get your
Yeah.
money up, build your credit so you
Right.
can be your own machine and you can move how you want to move. And then it's way more comfortable than trying to balance that 9 to 5 going to work. You got to do both in the beginning, but get your money up, meaning working, building credit so you can get loans or whatever you have to do to be your own machine and get behind yourself, and eventually
Right.
you'll pull people in.
Right. And,
Yep.
and that's how I do. That's how I do it right now. So and
Yeah.
plus I've been doing it for a while. So I'll get a show. I'll get a show at and I'll every show I've done on my own, I'm gonna sell out my tickets. It don't matter if that's why I do a show, here. I'll pick a building that hold 300 to 400,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna bring that. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring that 300 and that other if say I've only brought in 250 to three. That other
Yeah.
100 space ain't gonna look like it's still space. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Because
Right. Right.
I know how to make it. Like the space might be only holding 250, but I knew how to make it to hold four. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That extra 150 people. And
Right.
shoot, I'm gonna sell out everything. And that's how I do it.
Yeah.
I try to oversell so that way, the good thing is that it's jam packed. We can't get in. Yeah, I created
Yeah.
a big illusion off of a $10 show. I created a nice illusion.
Man. You got to.
you
And I
know,
want
to
to collab, and sometime in the future, man, I want to collaborate. I know you're real busy, but I want to collaborate with you and get you down here, man. I got a lot of partners that got venues and I got situations, and I want to bring an artist to Atlanta to get you that notoriety, get you some
I
more followers in Atlanta, and we can possibly make a couple of dollars break even, or just the experience. You know what I'm saying? Get you to
definitely,
the A.
and we got a pocket of people down there. From we got a nice
Yeah. Oh yeah.
number,
Nice. Right.
and
So they gonna
especially if
come
we
out. They
market
gonna
right.
come
Yeah,
out.
they gonna come out,
Yep.
especially if we market right, and then I also if I could not, I'm not sparing no expense. I'm putting on a show.
Right. Right.
I'm
I know.
I'm not gonna
No, you do.
shoot. It ain't gonna be no half stepping. I'm come
Right, right. Let's
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next for you two with all the evolution, man? I kind of see you like in films and acting, man. I know we don't got that scene, but that's a pocket in Omar to create, man. What's next for you?
I'm actually my album. I just see you got that like I never left. So this is the age of content. I've
Yeah.
actually wrote a couple scripts. I got a couple scripts that stage plays and that can possibly hit the screen. And
Yeah.
I haven't started working on those yet. But on this album that's about to come, it's called "It's Complicated."
Mm.
It's like dealing with all relationship stuff, from the happy
Okay.
to the to the sad to the good and the bad. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I actually see a vision of me putting a lot of clips. I could say short film
Short
style
film.
clips
Yeah.
to these songs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That
I can see that.
that breathe some life into the song. Also, in the song will breathe life into the scene that it came from. You know what I mean? And give you a glimpse of maybe what I experienced or somebody else experienced in a relationship. And so yeah, I've been storyboarding a lot of things lately for this album content, and when I start shooting it, you'll be able to see.
Okay.
And I might be able to put it together and create a short story with the album as the soundtrack. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah. That'd be
that's my
dope.
idea. You know?
That's what's up, man. Yeah, keep
Yeah.
evolving, man, doing your thing. What's your cook up process like? I know for me sometimes we are worst critics as artists, right? Sometimes I can write something and I don't really like it and I remake it. I find myself I'm more creative when I jump in the car sometimes. I could jump in the car and ride around and things is coming to me and I'm jotting them down or I'm saying them in my phone recording,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? What's
I
your
do
cook up process like?
I do that too. I do exactly what
Yeah.
you just said. Cause sometimes I turn the music off and let stuff come. Cause
Yeah.
it's a two-way street. So sometimes the music beats, I'll ride, listen to the beats I'm about to mess with, or that a couple producers sent me, and then I do the same thing. Hotlines come, I say it to the thing and into my phone. I'm usually always saying it into my phone because
Right.
I'm not writing. And
Right, right,
so
right.
yeah, we then I like to I get a lot of ideas and song ideas uh from dreams.
Mm,
Like I'll wake up and this song was in my head when I woke up, or it was in my
yeah.
dream, and I break out of dreams to hurry up and grab my
Minute,
phone sometimes. Like,
middle of the
oh
night, I'm writing notes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
break out of the dream. Like, oh, I gotta remember this, or something woke me up, and I'm
Right,
going back into my dream to try to remember it, and then sometimes things just hit me. It just depends on what I'm doing, because in the shower I get some stuff going. You know what I mean? But
right.
it's just how
When you in project mode, do you find it hard to turn it off? Being an artist can be it can be complicated because when you working on something, man, shutting your brain down and going to sleep
man.
sometimes can be real. And so when I was years ago, I used to be like, man, this stuff is like mentally draining me because I want to I be want to shut it off. And when you in that when you there and you locked in, it's hard to turn it off, man. You
I,
find yourself in those situations.
all the time. I can't never
Yeah.
turn it off. Like I'm that's one thing Queso tell me, man, you always in project demo mode. You gotta now it's time to let's make some money back. Let's make some money back.
Right,
You
right,
invested
right.
this, you invest. Now let's put some ideas together, do this. Let's put the vision, he'll kick it out of me and then be like, hey,
Yeah,
I ain't coming for a while. You know what I mean?
man.
But yeah, I get stuck sometimes in creating. And that's
Yeah,
because you love to create.
we
That's what
love to
creators do.
create,
We
yeah.
create. You want
Man,
to keep
hundred
creating.
percent,
Yeah.
hundred
So
percent. That's what's
yeah,
up,
but
man.
that
What is what?
the album I went to since you started off with that song, Feel the Love,
Yeah,
that song came because sometimes you just don't feel the love around where you're from,
right,
and cats is I see little subliminals and
yeah,
people saying this. I see that people's top fives and who this and it's cool. I don't get involved in it. And I ain't an
right,
artist that'll say who's your top five. I ain't an artist that is going to say
right,
that
right,
to see if somebody gonna mention me or who the people got. I just
right,
know I ain't into the competition because
right,
I'm
right.
competing with myself. But I just want to feel the love from the whole thing because we blew Bud up. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? We blew Bud up. The city, and they didn't ride with him until uh he came back with that belt. The
Yeah,
airport
yeah,
was empty, so once everybody gathered them, gathered and said, "Oh, we got a champion here." Now the buzz going, and everybody
yeah.
now he's selling out the arena. We all coming. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
We can do it again for a artist, a rap artist,
Yeah,
a singer, whoever, a actor. You know what I mean? We can do it for the next entertainment, person.
yeah,
You got King ISO doing big things. He in
yeah.
so we can do it. It's just because it's who they choose to do it for.
Right,
And like
right.
you said, don't wait until either they gone or they blow up, and then y'all start
Man,
but I can say I've been having a following, and I love my following. I've been having a following for a while, and it's getting bigger, man. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I'm known in other cities, around here. I'm known, and I'm humbly going to say it, and still at the same time pop my stuff, but
yeah,
where I go, I'm gonna be cool wherever I
yeah.
go because I know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and your work speak for itself, man. That's
There
what
it
I
go.
say. Especially cats that know, we from the same era generation. This
Yeah.
man been putting on, man. He been putting on. Ain't too many did it. They quit
But
before they
before they finish, I've been in it all
all
along.
alone.
Yeah,
It feel like, yeah, hey man, and I love that song, man, because I get it. You know what I'm saying? That love, and just shout out to the city, man. We're gonna get there. We're gonna stay optimistic and keep pushing
yeah,
for us artists, for the culture as a whole, man. Shout out to Omaha, man. I love the
yeah.
city. I'ma always, do whatever I can to support. And
And you
hopefully,
always
we
have though.
making a difference.
And you always
Appreciate
have
it.
though. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you always have
Appreciate it.
so. And I'm I got a project on the way, man. Since we on the podcast, you be the one to hear. Me and Rich the Factor just did something together, real nice, and we're gonna do
Okay.
Omaha and Kansas City. We're gonna do a video with him, and it's a real hot song. Uh, I brought the
That's what's
idea to
up.
Queso, and Queso brought that thing to life, and then I recorded it, and uh and we in the mix right now. That was actually who just called me, so I'm gonna call him back while we on the podcast. So I
Oh,
gotta,
okay.
yeah, while we on the podcast. It's business though, So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's what's up, man.
let me call him back real quick so that way I don't miss
Okay.
out on what it is.
Right, right. Do your thing.
But yeah, we putting it together right now as we speak. He in the studio recording the joint, and
When y'all shooting a video?
I'm
Y'all got it.
I put the budget together as I go. You know what I mean? And then I just started. I had one meeting today about the video. So
Okay.
because the people gonna either come out or they ain't. You know what I mean? But I will pull
Yeah.
together something for the visual. You know what I'm saying?
I might try to get up there, man. It's gonna be in the city or Kansas City or Omaha.
Probably both.
Both. Oh,
I
okay,
probably go
okay.
catch him in his neighborhood, and I'm down there, and the way we shoot it down there, cause it's really not it can be it's really to the women, but I wanted it to be in his lane at the same time as, we talking to the women, spitting that game, to
Right,
a
right,
woman, you
right.
know what I'm saying? And
Right, right.
it's a hot joint. I put out a little snip clip of it on
Yeah.
the with the album cover of It's Complicated to let them know there's a summer bop bubbling, And I still
Okay.
ain't done with the albums that's released. That this one, I never left because, like I said, it's all content now. I'm about to start doing the
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
for the videos, the songs on that album, and I gotta load up this because everybody's attention span is short now,
Right.
so you
Man,
gotta
yes it
keep
is.
coming.
You
And
gotta
and,
keep working.
and so my work did not stop since, like I told you, since Queso moved back.
Yeah, you don't reinvented you all the way. It's
Yeah,
like you just starting, huh?
yeah. So
A
I
fresh
got
start.
so much material. When I say I got over 500 songs,
God.
I'm
All with queso, brand new.
yeah, yeah, all with queso. Yeah, because like I
Yeah.
said, I'm already a worker. I'll go in the studio and work, and he's a
Yeah.
worker. So it's like only the slowest process was me that first day, really. And then after that,
Yeah.
I was willing to go to school and willing to, what I'm saying,
Mm.
start learning these new pockets and okay, yeah, okay, now, because when you
Right.
stuck in your way, you stuck in your way. But I don't like being stuck in my ways. I'm not that dog that
Right.
you can't teach nothing to. Well,
Right. Right.
so, and he taught me, man, and he put me in this spot. And I said, now we get, like I said, we'll get together. And he already know I'm only doing one song a day. We done in 45 minutes to an hour. Because once we get the boom, it's done. You
Yeah.
get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Once
Yeah.
that vibe hit, it's on.
Man, I
Yeah.
love it, bro.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing, man. Keep before we wrap it up, bro. The podcast is called Respectfully, man. Tell the viewers how respect has served you well with yourself and with others.
Well, it served me well because I don't look like what I've been through. I respect life. I
Mm.
respect everybody's walk. I respect everybody's talk until it don't match their walk.
Mm.
And I got most respect for myself. Some people confuse it with conceit. No, it's just confidence because I am
Yeah.
who I am. Yeah, I
Yeah.
am who I am, and yeah. So respect me has brought me still to this day because I respect everybody. I respect Isaac. I respect your craft. I respect like when you hit me up, I'm coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Appreciate it.
obliged. Because guess
No
what?
doubt.
It's a respect. You dig
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a
No doubt.
respect. And I never wanted to be the tough guy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
be the
You.
tough guy. I always wanted to be the one that just can do whatever I wanted to do wherever. So
Yeah.
I respect everybody's walk.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You do, and I give you. I tip my hat to you, bro. You always was in your own lane.
It's just a path, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your path is gonna go through that. You can't get by that. It was destined to go through it, so you'll learn this
Hundred
because
percent.
you had to go fight. This is a different talk. You had to go fight the way you fought to get to where you at right now. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just give shout out to your testimony that you live still,
Yeah. Yeah.
you got through it and you're able to say, hey, and I appreciate you saying that about me. I just chose it didn't take that my path didn't have to take me through that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It took me through something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at things, man. I really do. I look at it from a destined and our choices of things is going to take us to teach us. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
all it
Yeah.
did. It taught us what we needed to know. Because that's why and look, we still what I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about? We still
Still
beat up
growing, bro. Still
right, still
growing.
growing. You know what I mean?
Still
Because
growing.
yeah, shoot. If you
Man,
but think about it. If you put on them gloves and got in the ring, you'd be at probably heavyweight. You know what
no,
I'm
and
talking
I did box. I used to box at CW. Bernie
See?
had me in the gym. I
See?
used to box. I ended up getting shot. I got shot in Iowa right before I came down here. It messed up my shoulder.
Dang.
And I still had it a little, but when I got down here, I went to a gym a couple times, but I never could get that same. My arm would start going out on me because I got
Yeah.
shot in up in Fort Dodge.
Yeah.
But no, I was in the gym getting in. That's how I know Bud. That's how
Yeah.
yeah,
See?
Bud was a little pup when we was in the gym.
And going strong. I remember him when we used to do the CW shows. He was
Yep.
at the gym then. I was, because that's how, and he's my cousin's cousin too. So that's how
Yeah.
he remember me too, through the CW down there at the
Yep.
CW. Remember
Shout
he used
out
to
to
pack that place
CW,
out. Yeah,
man.
shout out to CW. Gave,
Yeah.
gave us all some of us some platforms to build on, and
Real
promote us.
talk.
That was
Yeah,
the
because
first
I would have
promoter.
never thought, Bernie being my best friend, always wanted him to make it and always wanted him to, fulfill his dream of boxing.
Hmm.
We met at 12, 13 years old. This man was infatuated with boxing. We was babies. Like, he had
Yeah,
trophies in his room, Muhammad Ali and all that. So, just fast forward when I got to CW, we was in the streets. And by the time I got to CW, I was like 19, 20, really trying to get out the streets because I just
yeah,
had my daughter. So I was trying something new. And so
yeah.
I would have who would ever thought, right? We giving Bud ride home from work. I mean, from the gym, and he just when I first seen him box, he had these big hands, and like, man, this little dude got hands.
And
But who would
long
ever thought
arms,
God would have brought us this far? You know what I'm saying? So God is
man.
good, man. God is
Yeah,
good.
all the
Hey,
time.
bro, respect, man. Much love, my dude. Keep doing your thing. I must be in touch. I want to hear about the video shoot. I may try to pop in, but again, bro, let's just keep collaborating and encouraging and empowering each other, bro.
Definitely, dog. It's still like I never left. You understand smell my
Uh,
breath?
hey, we want to feel the love too, Omaha.
Yeah,
We want to
yes,
feel the
indeed.
love.
For real.
Respectfully. Yes, sir.
Respectfully,
All right, my
yo.
guy. Yes, sir.
All right,
Take
I'll
care,
talk to
bro.
you
I'll see you
soon,
in a
fam.
minute. All right, bro.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Love.
Love.